After observing Quail's behavior, I found that, in my opinion, the most important behavior was retreating. Retreating is a combination of alarm calls, running, and possible flights. In this first clip, I want you to listen very closely. You won't see the quail, but you can hear the alarm calls. Next clip will show the quail in full flights. Full flight includes him starting to run very quickly. His wings will extend fully away from his body. The wings will start flapping very quickly. He will jump into the air and then be in full flight. His head is aligned with his body as well as with the tail. This clip will show a family of quail retreating from a threat. The quail runs with quick feet beneath them, head low, looking straight ahead. Wings will be slightly extended away from their body, and the tail slightly raised to be even with the head and body cavity. We can see that the quail retreats from a threat by running and sometimes flying, possibly because this behavior serves to reduce predation through the anatomy of the quail's body. Beyer, Gatsey, and Dial, 2013, completed a study of birds during uphill flap running and ascending flapping flight, which suggested, quote, the glenohumeral joint controls the vast majority of wing movements, end quote. The quail's flying capability is due to the joints and muscles inside their bodies, which helps increase their current fitness by escaping from predators. This next hypothesis is based on the proximate developmental aspects of the quail's retreating. We may say the quail retreats because, being in a family unit, that is what they are taught to do to survive. Beauchamp, 2012, suggested that, quote, the escape of the single alarm bird triggered similar responses in nearby companions, eventually propagating through the whole flock as a wave, end quote. By being in a small family group, quails have a better chance at survival when using their communication with honest signaling. This next hypothesis is based on ultimate evolutionary aspects of why the quail retreats. We may say the quail retreats by running and flying because that is what they have been conditioned to do over time through generations and environmental changes. Moyer and Ibanez did a study on how different species of birds reacted differently when escaping predators based on whether the birds came from a rural area or an urbanized area. Their findings suggest, quote, release from predation and change in predator community associated with urbanization has altered the anti-predator behavior of birds colonizing towns and cities. This last hypothesis is based on the ultimate function aspects of why quails retreat. We may say that the quails retreat by using alarm calls when approached by a threat, possibly because they are avoiding predation through territorial defense. Their normal communication was altered when approached by a predator, and the quail then retreated. Gerberzon did a study on contextual variation in the Song of Skylers with different territorial intrusions. The study suggested that males sing differently if they are territorially challenged. Quails use retreating, which is a combination of alarm calls, running, and flying, for various reasons. Number one is kin selection, the behavior that aids in the survival of close relatives. Quails use alarm calls and direct selection to warn their families of danger. This can even be perceived as a form of altruism, since giving off an alarm call directs attention of a predator to themselves.